Hey Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today to share with you this layout. It's a large photo layout that I created using my November Cocoa Daisy memory keeping kits. I used this exclusive paper. It's got the birch trees as the background and then put an 8.5 by 11 photo on that. It took me a while to figure out where I wanted this photo to go because I wanted a little bit of the tree poking out from either side, but I also wanted a decent amount of tree, and you can see where that branch on the right hand side of your screen goes into the photo. My original thought had been to cut a little bit of that branch and slide the photo underneath, but it wasn't going to work the way I had originally envisioned, so I just needed a little bit of tree poking out on the right hand side. And my plan was I wanted to gut the paper, which is why I drew where it was, because I normally get more than one sheet of the exclusives, but was not so lucky this month, unfortunately, and so I wanted to save the paper so that I could use that for something else. So I'm going to gut the inside of where the photo is going to go, and then I want to lay that down, and I used one of the exclusive digital cut files and created a stencil from that to add some snow to this snow layout. So I just adhere that, and in a minute you'll see the cut file that I used. Oh, that's an eraser, and I just erased the pencil line. So that is the cut file that I printed 12 by 12. And so what I did was I used the paste there, the modeling paste, and I started to put it on, and then I realized I want to add a little bit more to this. So I went and got some glitter. It's just white fine glitter, and I put that on the palette there and then mixed in some glitter. So it's a very subtle effect. You can't see it unless you hold the layout to the light correctly, but there is a actual glittery effect in the white. And then I have those other larger sort of mica flakes that are white, and as the paste was drying, I did apply a few of those over the modeling paste, and again it gives you a little bit more of a shimmery effect. So I wanted the snow to fall a little bit onto the picture, but not too far into the picture. So I just wiped the paste through my die cut stencil onto the picture there. And I didn't mix up enough of the texture paste or modeling paste really to have much left over, so I was a little bit more judicious about using what I had when I've got the glitter in there. I don't want too much left over. I don't want to waste where I don't need to. And so I just go all the way around the edges of the picture onto the pattern paper of those birch trees, as well as onto the photo. I didn't put anything down the bottom because I knew that's where a lot of my embellishment and decoration was going to go. So you can see where I have this mica, and I'm just sort of sprinkling that on top, and it'll stick as it dries. Tapping off the excess, and then I'll put that into, so you can see a close-up there of what it is that I've done. Unfortunately, you can't see the sparkle in it with the way that close-up. The light doesn't catch it where I'm filming from, but you can see it much better in the close-ups. So just dumping the excess back, and now I am going to finish building this layout. So this photo is a black and white photo of us in January of this year. It's the shadow of the four of us. So this is some white mist. It's a Mr. Huey's white mist, and I just wanted a little added sort of randomness, some smaller dots of the falling snow. So I just flicked that over the picture. Back to the picture, this is just a picture of the four of us. It's our shadows. We were out in the snow in January. My original intent when I had started this layout and printed this photo was that I would do an 8.5 by 11 letter size page, but I didn't leave a lot of room in the photo and the shadows to really be able to adorn the page. It would have been very simple, and you would have lost the effect of the tallness of those shadows. So by putting it on a 12 by 12 page, I was still able to get the effect that I wanted. So that Let It Snow is another exclusive digital cut file. When you subscribe to Cocoa Daisy, you get digital cut files as well as print and cut files, and that is another one of the digital files that I used. So I am fussy cutting from one of the papers from Sweater Weather, and I cut out Winter Hello, thinking I would just use Hello, and then I cut out Burr, and I cut something else out. You'll see it come onto the screen in a second. And January, because it was in January, and I don't actually end up using all of those. So that snowflake and this snowflake here are from the exclusive print and cut file, as is that arrow there. And then I cut out some vellum snowflakes. They were also from the exclusive cut files, and I just, that is actually that's cardstock. You'll see in a layout that I did recently, I had some, it was just green cardstock that matched that green that big snowflake is on, and it just adds some nice texture to winter layout. So I put that underneath the title, and now I'm building some layers. I knew I wanted that green in there again, and so I cut this. This is left over from another piece that I worked on. So I just cut that to 4 by 3 to match the size of that hat from the Day in the Life kit, which is no longer the Day in the Life kit, the pocket kit. And it just added another fun layer and pulled that green that I have behind the title into the layout. And so I'm fussy cutting something here. Oh, I'm fussy cutting outside of Burr to form just some word to go with the hat. And I tried using the words, a few of the other words, but it became too busy on the layout, and so I just sort of left those off and put in a few of the vellum snowflakes. They're very hard to pick up, but it's okay. It's just a subtle effect, sort of the same subtle effect that the embossed snow creates. The kits come with these really awesome gems, these red fine gems, and I thought that they would look great in the, just as a subtle sort of mwah in the center of the snowflakes. And I loved this little bird. I wanted him nestled in that branch at the top right corner there, but he was facing the wrong way, so I had to put him on the very edge there up near that corner. Another little splash of red to just sort of give some pop to this black and white picture. So I've decided where everything's going to go. I've committed to it, and now I'm going to adhere everything. I just got a piece of scrap paper because I used to do this on my mat, and I've left all sorts of sticky glue on my mat, and I'm getting tired of cleaning that up every time I want to do something or finding that something has stuck to the mat. I love this layout. I love the effect of the 8.5 by 11 letter sized photo on the 12 by 12 paper. It gives a nice definition to the photo and some border that to sort of build the scene of this layout. So now I'm going to get my Wink of Stella pen. It's just clear, and you'll see better in the close-up. As it was drying, what happened was the Ink of Stella made the red darker, and it changed the red tone from the that red actually matches with the red in the pocket card, but you can see it gets darker, which I really hesitated with. I didn't like it, and I thought that I would recut it and just glue it back on top. But as the Wink of Stella dried, it actually dried so that it had the glitter effect but left the same red as that journal card. And again, you'll see that better in the close-ups. So my hat and the green snowflake paper, I just love the color combinations here, and how that green in the snowflake paper and in the branch, the birch branch up under Let It Snow, really pop the green in the birch tree background there. So it's a little vellum snowflake, the little fussy cut burr, and that is going to be how I adhere things down. So I moved this snowflake around. It's actually quite a big die cut element, and by putting it up the top there, I shifted the weight of the layout too much to the middle, and it looks asymmetrical. It looks funny. So in a second, you'll see that I actually pull that bigger black snowflake down to create some balance on the page. There is a vellum snowflake. I don't know if you saw me put it towards the bottom right-hand side, and I'll build another cluster of snowflakes there to just sort of fill that space so it doesn't look like that vellum snowflake is sitting there by itself. So those are the exclusive print and cut files. I was not able to get everything to match up for some reason on my silhouettes this time. Sometimes it works. It's kind of hit or miss for me. So I just fussy cut these things out myself, which isn't a problem. And I'll use that little red heart down the bottom to pop out the page. So that is, I forget what it's called, the Tim Holtz Distress Glitter. The Wink Stella really bothered me, and I thought maybe I would go over it with that red Distress Glitter, the Let It Snow title, but I figured it was too much glitter. I had a lot of glitter in there, and I didn't really want it to go overboard on the mixed media sort of effect there. I just really wanted that to be a subtle effect. So there is a label from the Pocket die cuts, and I thought I would stamp the date on that, which I actually did do. And then I found that sticker, and it says, "The cold never bothered me anyway," and that was perfect saying to go with this layout. And then that snowflake that matched the print and cut file snowflakes just tied everything together with that little vellum snowflake there. And again, it's hard to see in the lighting that I've got here, but you'll see it much better in the close-ups, and it really does work. It sort of ties. We go from big to little as far as the embellishments go as you move from the left to the right-hand side of the page. There's a little bit of a gap between the big snowflake and that tall shadow on the right-hand side. That's actually me because I'm holding the camera. But it gets tied together because you've got the cluster of the three people with the big embellishments, and then sort of that little me standing by myself, but I'm not, with the smaller embellishments there. So that, my friends, I'm going to use the red gems, just put them in the center of the snowflakes there, and that is going to be the end of this layout. I think we're going to give it a thumbs up and call it good with some close-ups to follow. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. I would love for you to subscribe and join me on my scrapbooking journey if you don't already subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. Enjoy the close-ups and take care.